everybody, and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie, Esther here, and wow, we got some stuff going on right now. Let's talk about it. It's going to be tinfoil time here shortly. So we have some teasers that are starting to trickle in with Dead by Daylight. It all began with these items here first, with this picture from the game map, the newly designed game map. A tweet from Dead by Daylight that said, rate my gaming setup here, where we see the monitor room for the surveillance room and this television with Gamer Fung Min standing beside it. And many people just thought that this was merely just a cute tweet, rate my gaming setup, like this was her setup here. But then, shortly thereafter, Dead by Daylight changed their Twitter profile picture to this, where we start to see this schism in the logo here for Dead by Daylight. And then people started to put this together with the picture of the gaming setup room and started to believe that they were connected and were part of the next chapter teaser. And I saw a lot of different things come through. Five Nights at Freddy's, Slender Man, The Ring, and Resident Evil were the top ones. I even had someone who broke down the schism on the lines here and put it into binary code and said that there's 6 lines that are shift and they go right, right, left, left, right, left. And if you break that down into the rights are zeros and the lefts are ones and make it into binary code, it winds up being 001101, I think, which is the number 13 in binary code. And they said that this was an indicator that Jason was coming because of the number 13 in the binary code. They went deep diving into it. Another person presented this as a psycho, the schism, the cracking of one's mind, which are, all very interesting theories. And I was trying to decide which one I was going to land on and throw my dart at first. There was a lot of great stuff there to cover. But then we went a bit deeper today in a Dead by Daylight's Twitter account with even more information. Also, people pointed to this picture from the banner of the Tagger outfit for Nia. This is one of the first linked outfits that we ever had. And it's a surveillance camera with a date in the corner, and it's a broken surveillance camera. So this is another reason that people thought it was going to be Five Nights at Freddy's, because of the broken surveillance camera that wasn't working properly. And they're going to say, well, it was because Nia had sprayed it out and tied that into Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's dated here 11/03/2021. And depending on where you live in the world, some people write dates as month, day, year, and some people write them as day, month, year. And if you're a day, month, year person, you would believe that this was Nia in the future telling us that something was going to happen on March the 11th, which is right around the corner. That's still very possible, don't know, but I don't think this is connected to Five Nights at Freddy's. That was the prevailing theory in the community, was that Five Nights at Freddy's was first, even though there was a statement from Scott Cawthon that was saying that there were going to be no collaboratives between FNAF and anybody else this game, this year, no game collabs with Among Us or Fortnite or Dead by Daylight, presumably. But that doesn't mean that Scott was telling the truth. Anyway, moving on from all of that, it doesn't appear that it's going to be a licensed character, because today, Dead by Daylight changed their entire profile on their Twitter with this, where it says Magnum Opus, and you can see here that it still says at Dead by Behaviors. This is definitely their account. They changed their header, they changed their profile picture, they changed their name, and that's the first thing that was like, what is happening here? So Magnum Opus means your best piece of art, your masterpiece. So Magnum Opus in this context is this hack their masterpiece, what's happening here. And we also see that the banner has been changed to this Mighty One Entertainment logo. A lot of people genuinely thought this was a real hack, but I knew, from the jump, especially with the shenanigans yesterday with the Twitter profile picture, that this was being done purposely. And I really like the way that they are doing this with these sneaks to integrate it into Twitter and give us dribs and drabs here. So this is pretty interesting. So we had this Magnum Opus account here. And then what else do we get from that? This is the banner here, the Mighty One Entertainment. And this is the profile picture. This is the best I can get from it. That with lightening it, it's just so dark in the middle you can't really make out their features no matter how much you lighten this profile picture here. So this person is a fancy dresser, I will say that. Is this the killer? Is this the survivor? Is the killer some kind of a technological hacker? Is the survivor technological hacker? More information to follow, but it is exciting. And then, not that one. And then they put out this tweet here. This was the first tweet they put out after the profile change that says, "Been working all night, coffee, stay tuned." And then there is some Korean written here. It says hashtag, and I don't know how to pronounce that in Korean. I apologize, but that is the word fighting in Korean. So is this someone who's fighting with technology as a hacker? To what end, we don't know. It's pretty interesting. And then if you look closer at the image, it also has this Mighty One Entertainment logo on this cup, and it's like a latte with a heart drawn through it on the top. And if you look at the top of the cup, there is the reflection of a skyline here on the rim of that cup here. And I can show you that a little bit closer with this, perhaps. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know if this is recognizable to anyone from Korea, if there's some kind of a landmark in there. Doesn't really look like any special buildings to me that would be distinctive enough, but it is interesting that they went so far as to put a reflection of a skyline in the rim of the cup. Perhaps someone who is more familiar with landmarks in Korea can shed some insight into that. So, what do we think this is? Well, tinfoil hat time. Da, da, da! Alright, so I do think it is an original chapter. I don't think that it's licensed at all. Whether that this character here that we see is the survivor or the killer, I have no idea. It could really go either way. I'm gonna assume for the moment that this is the survivor, purely because I don't think we really have too many killers who could be mistaken for survivors. Maybe there's a couple, but in general they're very disfigured characters that at a distance you would recognize. So I'm gonna say this is the survivor, but I don't know for sure. Looks like there is obviously going to be some Korean heritage or background in one of the characters in this chapter. I have thought for a long time that this next chapter was going to be an original one, and the reason I have thought that is because they seem committed to two things: to getting the maps reworked and to this Pariah storyline. So the maps, we have roughly like 10 more maps that need to be done. Obviously the big bulk of it is going to be those 5 Coldwind Farm maps that need to be redesigned, and it has seemed so far that they haven't been able to rework a large number of existing maps and create a new map at the same time. We didn't get a new map for Felix. We didn't get a new map for Felix and the Blight. We didn't get a new map for Elodie and the twins. So I'm assuming we're not going to get a new map for whoever this new survivor and the corresponding killer are either. I think we're most likely going to get those Coldwind Farm maps and maybe 2 more, and then the mid-chapter patch will finish up the rest of the maps, and then we can be done with the maps and move on. And then for the 5th anniversary, which will be around June, there'll be a 5th anniversary of Dead by Daylight. That's when you're going to unleash your big bullet of a huge license. I really think that you want to go into the 5th anniversary with a significant license to put your stamp on the gaming community with the 5th anniversary and deliver something big. So I think that it's a little premature for that to happen right now, because we still have a couple of months before that anniversary is going to happen. So I firmly believe this is going to be an original chapter right now, with that big license coming in June. So that's where I'm at. I also think that they are pretty committed to this Pariah storyline. And in the lore of Felix and Elodie, we learn that Felix says he met 4 friends who became the Pariahs. We've seen 2 Pariahs now, and they have been interconnected between Felix and Elodie. They both had this shared experience on Dire Island. And it would not shock me at all if, let's say, this is the survivor that we are seeing here. Where's the picture? Their picture. It wouldn't shock me at all if this character that we see here is another Pariah. Whether it's a killer or the survivor, I think it could be a Pariah. I don't know if you're going to want to do 5 chapters of 5 different Pariahs, so I can totally see them putting this Pariah storyline in like 3 chapters and having this 3rd chapter encapsulate it and say, let's say that 2 of the characters in the chapter are Pariahs. One became a killer after they met as teenagers on Dire Island, and the other one was a survivor, and let's say the 5th one died between the clash of these 2. We also have this character named the Collector in Elodie's lore that could turn out to be a killer in the future as well. So it's pretty interesting, and the fact that they're doing these teases right now, we could see some kind of a cinematic in the next couple of days. Perhaps the PTB could be as soon as Tuesday. I thought we were a little further down the road for this stuff, but maybe it's going to come in. But it sure is interesting. Obviously, I'm going to be keeping an eye on Dead by Daylight's Twitter here to see just what's going on with all of this stuff. The Magnum Opus is very interesting. Mighty One Entertainment. Some people thought that they were like rebranding and they weren't going to be Behavior anymore, and they were going to be a new company that was sold to Korea. And I'm like, no, this is all part of the game here. This is all the tease. This is winding us up for that new chapter, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, I guess I have talked long enough here. Tinfoil hat's coming off. Let me know what you think. And it's going to be a fun few days as this information comes out. Just what it all means. What this new killer could possibly represent. What their power could be. It's going to be pretty exciting. But I think we can safely say that the one thing we know from this point on is that it's not a licensed character. Okay? That's all I have for you today. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification and all those things that help me as a YouTuber reach 100,000 subscribers so I can present my son with the play button one day. Right, son? Yeah. All right. Take care of each other in on the fog, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.